some NFL draft stuff, combine stuff, type stuff like that. We're gonna name our top 5 favorite prospects from the draft. You can go first, Isaac.
I'll go first, dude. Mine's a simple list, At number 1, I got the running back out of Texas, Bijan Robinson. I've been watching this dude as a Texas fan and watching all of their games. I've seen this dude. He just dominates every single game. He's been a Heisman runner-up for the past 2 years. Well, not legitimately. He hasn't been top 4. He really should be in the Heisman runner-up conversation, though. He's that good. The only reason why he isn't, though, is because of Texas not winning as many games as some of the other teams. But Bijan Robinson has easily been the best running back in college football for the past 2 years at least. He's going to dominate in the NFL. Bijan Robinson is my favorite player in this year's draft. Number 2, I got QB out of Alabama, Bryce Young. The combine numbers came out about him earlier today. He's pretty short. I'm not going to lie. He's about my height, which for NFL QB, you don't really expect that. But Bryce Young is still one of the most talented players in the NFL. Not in the NFL, in college football. He's going to be, in my opinion, one of the best QBs in the NFL once he gets drafted. He's very talented. I'd say just to get into Bama, you got to be that guy. He was able to win the Heisman for Alabama. He's been sensational all around. As I said, he makes big plays when you need him. He can deliver in the biggest moments, and that's what I like about Bryce Young. Despite his height, despite his size concerns, he's very talented. Going to be a great QB in the NFL. Number 3, I got another QB. This man came out yesterday and said he believes he's the best college player for the past 2 years. I'm talking about CJ Stroud, QB Ohio State. He said it himself. He believes he's one of the best QBs in college football. No, he said he believes he is the best player in college football. I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but he definitely has that confidence in himself. He knows his ability. He's another guy who also steps up when the lights get big. You saw that against Georgia. He was playing against the all-time historic team and that Georgia Bulldogs team. Without his top receivers, Jackson Smith and Njigba, and Marvin Harrison Jr. for about half that game, he put that team on his back, and he nearly took down the Georgia Bulldogs. That historic team that you saw beat TCU 56-3, 63-3. Oh, CJ Stroud took Ohio State and nearly took out Georgia. He's been playing at a top-tier level, second behind Bryce Young, in my opinion. Bryce Young still has that Heisman win. So I can't get mad if you say CJ Stroud is better if you just flip-flop the two. Personally, though, I'll take Bryce Young first over CJ Stroud. Number 4, I got wide receiver out of TCU, Quentin Johnson. TCU wasn't supposed to be in the national championship this year. They weren't even supposed to be Big 12 champions. They were supposed to be nowhere close to being undefeated. This team really surpassed expectations in a way that nobody could have ever thought of. A big reason for that is because of the production of Quentin Johnson. He was that reliable number 1 for Max Duggan to get the ball to whenever he needed to. He was a big reason why that TCU offense was flowing the way they were flowing throughout the year. Big reason why they ran through the Big 12. They were undefeated all the way up until the Big 12 championship. They were still able to beat Michigan in the playoffs. They came into an unfortunate end against the Georgia Bulldogs, but I'd say Georgia is just that good. I didn't really expect anything different from that game. Quentin Johnson, though, I'm not sure how he's going to fare in the NFL, but as far as his college production, I really like this guy. I think he'll be a stud in the NFL. And that leads me to the number 5. This guy's been the top defensive player in all of college football for the past 2 years. He's been the consensus number one pick. Now, if it wasn't for QB needy teams, this guy probably would be the number one pick in the draft. It's been that way for the past 2 years already. This guy's a stud. He plays for one of the top teams in college football. I'm talking about Will Anderson Jr., defensive end out of Alabama. This guy has been wreaking havoc. He is the biggest part of that Alabama defense. Alabama, they always have great rosters, man. Alabama always has some of the greatest. They got some of the best players in the draft each and every year. I got Bryce Young and Will Anderson in my top 5. And Will Anderson, in my opinion, is probably going to be the best defensive player in this year's draft. He's going to have that Myles Garrett effect. He's going to have that Nick Bosa effect for whatever team drafts him. And he's truly going to be that top edge rusher that every team is looking for in today's game. They could really get after the QBs. They could really take over a game.
All right. What did you got to say? I wanted to talk about CJ Stroud because of. Did you see what he said yesterday? He was like, the quarterbacks I look up to the most. He was like, Deshaun Watson and Michael Vick. It was just funny the two he picked.
Oh, yeah.
Any of the quarterbacks, he could have picked those two guys. That's the only thing I wanted to say.
Deshaun and Vick.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I still like CJ.
Yeah, no, it was just pretty funny what he said. The answers he gave. All right. My top 5. Yeah, my top 5 already. I got my number 1, my favorite prospect in this whole draft, Anthony Richardson. He's putting on a show at the Combine. He put it on a show earlier this morning. He delivered at the Combine. Everybody expected this to happen. This is what he did. Okay, his height, he's 6'4". He weighs 244 pounds. He's the heaviest quarterback. He's also the tallest quarterback in this year's draft. He ran his 40-yard dash, 4.43, first in all the quarterbacks. His vertical was a 40.5 first, and his broad jump first. Yeah, I really believe Anthony Richardson has the highest potential out of any of these quarterbacks in this draft. He has his floor. His floor is probably if he doesn't go to a good situation though, that's the only problem I have. If he goes to a bad situation, then things could get bad. So there's some stuff you still have to work on, like the mechanics and all that stuff. Yeah, you really need to help him out with that. Better decision making. Yeah, you really need to make him a better passer too, because he's not some elite passer. But his throwing motion though is one of the best I've seen ever. That's how good his throwing motion is. He probably has the best throwing motion, I believe, out of every quarterback in this draft. Yeah, I think he has the highest potential out of everybody. He's electric on the field. He's probably the most athletic quarterback in this year's draft class. Just to put into perspective how big he is, he's bigger than Derrick Henry. He only weighs 2 pounds less than him. He's taller than Derrick Henry, though. He's basically the same build as Cam. He's only 1 inch shorter, and he's like 4 pounds less. That's how big this dude is. And he's way more elusive than those two guys were either. Like, he's way more elusive than Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry's not that elusive. This guy is. Cam Newton was he's more of like a power guy, too. This dude's elusive. And he's a really good thrower of the ball. He really needs to go somewhere, like what Josh Allen happened. Josh Allen got Brian Dable, and Brian Dable really, he brought the potential out of Josh Allen. That's what really needs to happen with Anthony Richardson. Because if Anthony Richardson gets a guy that can bring out the potential in him, he's going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. That's how good this dude can be. So yeah, that's my number 1 prospect. My number 2 prospect is another guy that put on the show at the Combine on Thursday, Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith's also a monster off the edge. He's not the best edge rusher in this class, but he has the potential to be one of the best. He probably has the potential to be the best. He's 6'3". He weighs 235. He also put on a show at the Combine as well. He had a 4.39 4-yard dash, first among all D-line. That's insane. He had a 41.5 vertical, first among all D-line. He had the 3rd highest broad jump. But yeah, this dude's also he's probably the most athletic edge rusher off the edge. That's how athletic he really is. He was probably going to be like a late first. Now he's probably going to get early first to mid-first round. That's how good. He already has the potential as well. He was really good at Georgia. He missed the time this year of injury. Last year he played alongside Trayvon Walker. Trayvon Walker was the number 1 pick. And you could say he was better than Trayvon Walker last year. That's how good he was last year. This year he dealt with some injuries. But yeah, Nolan Smith has some of the highest potential in this draft class. He's going to be a force off the edge if he also goes to a team that really helps him out with his potential. A pro comparison for him is probably like a Khalil Mack. But he's not as big as Khalil Mack, but he's way faster than Khalil Mack ever was. That's how good this dude is. That's how athletic this dude is. But yeah, that's my second favorite prospect in this draft. My third favorite, he's the son of an NFL player, Joey Porter Jr., son of Joey Porter. He played with the Steelers for a few seasons, was Super Bowl champion when his son is a quarterback for Penn State. He's 6'2". He's got the length. He's really lengthy. He can really put him into any situation. He can play man, he can play zone, he can press, he can do everything. He can blitz if you want him to be a blitzing corner. He can really do everything you want out of him. He's my favorite corner in this draft class. I don't think he has the potential. He has nice potential, but I think even he has like a high floor too. I don't really think he's gonna be bad. I think it's gonna be hard for him to be bad. I don't think he's gonna be like, even if he doesn't reach his full potential, I don't think he's gonna be bad. He has a good floor. He's not gonna. I don't really think it's like a boomer bust type of thing. He has good mechanics. His dad was a coverage linebacker, so his dad probably taught him a little bit. So he's probably gonna be experienced. He's probably gonna be ready to play at the NFL level. So yeah, but Joey Porter, I really like his length. He's 6'2", very similar build to Sauce Gardner. Obviously, he's not gonna be as big as Sauce Gardner because Sauce Gardner was a freak, so he's not gonna be as big as him or anything like that. But he's close. Joey Porter Jr. is really close to Sauce Gardner's build. But yeah, that's my third favorite prospect. My fourth, another guy I really like. Another guy I would be fine with the Giants drafting, 25. Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. He's also one of the best. He might be the best coverage linebacker in this draft class. Also really good. Plays one of the best run stoppers, and also he can drop back in zone. He's really not gonna be an edge rusher type of guy. He's gonna be the guy you're gonna play in the middle, help run your defense. He's gonna be like the quarterback of your defense. That's how good this dude's gonna be. He ran a 4.43, really freaking fast for a middle linebacker. He's super athletic. Kind of reminds me of Isaiah Simmons, but he's more complete he's more of a complete player than Isaiah Simmons to me. He's probably gonna be drafted like in the mid 15s or mid 10s, mid round, mid teens, early 20s in that range. He also ran a 1.55 on the 10-yard split, 25 bench reps, pretty strong. But yeah, he's also 6'2", 235. He's basically the same build as Nolan Smith, but Nolan Smith was like a freak. You saw what Nolan Smith did. He's basically the same as Nolan Smith, but he can drop back and cover. He's probably the best coverage linebacker in this class. The only other guy I could say that's on his level, it's probably a guy out of Arkansas, Drew Sanders. He's probably the second best guy in this draft class, but for coverage linebackers. But Simpson's probably the best. So yeah, he's my third. I think he would be a really nice fit on the Giants. He's definitely what the Giants would need at that linebacker position. So hopefully maybe he ends up a Giant on draft night. My fifth favorite prospect is a guy a lot of people may not know about. Well, now people know about him. At the beginning of this year, not really known. He was like a second, third, fourth round pick this season at Illinois though. He really stepped up and he's probably gonna be the first corner off the board. Devon Witherspoon. I really like what's his name? Joey Porter Jr.'s length. That's why he's my favorite corner. But this dude's the most complete cornerback in this class. He's the best cornerback in this class. He could be a top 6 pick, possibly as early as the Lions, probably. To be honest with you, as early as the Lions, maybe even Seattle. Maybe Seattle wants to get another elite corner, but more likely, if the Lions don't make a big move for a corner in the offseason, Devon Witherspoon could be a line more than likely. He's 6 feet. Hasn't done any of his combine. No, he hasn't done his combine stuff yet. He is going to compete in the combine, but he's probably the best cornerback in the draft. Really, not much to say about him. He's more like a man corner though. He can play in zone, but he's more of a man corner. That's where he's going to thrive in the man to man. But he can't drop back in zone. He's going to be pretty efficient in zone, but he's like really elite in man to man. But yeah, those are my top 5 prospects in this year's draft.
Nah, that's a pretty solid list. I'd say Anthony Richardson being number 1. It seems like he got some high hope in him.
Yeah, I do.
He's got a lot of the physical attributes too.
Yeah, hopefully he ends up somewhere where he can actually get his potential.
No, I kind of thought about it too. Like if he were to end up in Indianapolis, how I would feel about it. At first, I was just thinking like, damn, I'd be pretty pissed if that happened. But then after seeing what he's been doing in the combine with his like physical abilities, and then how Shane Steichen's been able to develop QBs in his past, I feel like Anthony Richardson might actually be a really good pickup for the Colts if they're not able to land Bryce Young.
Yeah, Richardson's probably he's not the safest pick, but he's probably if you want. Yeah, because I don't know how many GMs are going to be really ready to risk their job because you can't just bet off potential. That's how you get fired.
Facts. Yeah, that's facts.
So I don't know. You have to be really confident in your training staff and your coaching staff that they're going to be able to get the best out of him and actually make him into an elite quarterback. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's going to be some GMs like Stroud and what's his name, Bryce Young. They're safe picks because their ceilings there and their floor is there. So it's not like they're going to be a bust. They're not going to be a boom or bust potential.
Perform.
Yeah. If you really don't build Anthony Richardson up, it's gonna be tough because it's probably just gonna be you're probably just gonna be stuck with a running quarterback that can't throw the ball if you don't build his potential up. So yeah.
Oh man.